Welcome to the RadioU Podcast. Coming up, which city has the worst drivers in America?
Also, the Delco Pooper is back.
All that and more on the way next. If you didn't stay up and watch Game 7, the NHL playoffs last night, Jets and Blues, I don't blame you, but you made a mistake. 8772 Radio U. I told you on Friday, Game 7 NHL playoffs, it's can't miss. It is the most thrilling thing that can happen, and that was definitely the case last night with the Winnipeg Jets hosting the St. Louis Blues in Game 7 to advance to the next round. It was in Winnipeg, whiteout. You thought only Penn State could do that? No, Winnipeg got it too. And Winnipeg, the Jets were down 3-1 with about less than 4 minutes to go. Mm-hmm. Which, like, to translate that to basketball, probably be the easiest thing because it's not the same as football where there's like possessions that and whatever. But in basketball, like that'd be like being down 15 with 2 minutes left.
Right.
Like it can be done, but you have to get particularly lucky usually. Yeah. And sure enough, the Jets scored there shortly after the 4 minute mark, and then they're still down an entire player or an entire goal. They decide to make it so that they're not down a player. They pull their goalie. And they're firing shot, just trying.
Yeah.
And with 1.6 seconds left, tie the game, save the season. We're going to overtime.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
1 second left on the clock and you get a goal.
Now, in basketball, you do get buzzer beaters.
Yes.
Hockey, that doesn't usually often happen. This is basically a buzzer beater, 1.6 seconds left.
I mean, yeah, come on. You got 1 second left on the clock? That's crazy. Most buzzer beaters in the NBA don't even have that little amount of time left.
Yeah, so Cole Perfetti, he scored it twice for the Jets last night. Of course, the game-tying goal that sends it to overtime. And then, when you get to overtime, no commercials. Beautiful.
I love that.
20 minutes straight of hockey, no commercials until intermission. And they go through the entire first overtime period, no goals. Some might say, well, that sounds like it sucks. No, that's the thing. It's so exciting. You never know when it can end. And it's not like soccer. I understand people who are like, oh, you soccer. You don't get any goals the whole time. Yeah, and you also hardly get any shots. Like, there's hardly any chances for goals. In hockey, this game, I think the Jets wind up having more than 50 shots that actually had to be saved or would have gone in the net.
Yeah.
It was right around there.
Wow.
And that's just one team.
Yeah.
So you're having chances constantly to score, and you never know which one could end it. It took to the second overtime when Adam Lowry scored for the Jets to not keep Canada's hopes alive, because they also have two other teams in the next round, but to keep the Jets going anyways.
Yeah.
And keep their season alive. And I stayed up for all of it, and it was a great choice.
I mean, it sounds like it. It sounds like a very exciting game. And I will say, though, it is interesting because the Jets were wearing their home Blues colors.
Yeah, even in a whiteout.
In a whiteout. So that was a little odd because, the Blues were wearing white.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
That did make a little sense. Really, a lot of sense. But either way, it looked like a very fun environment that paid off for everyone that was able to be there.
Yeah, definitely. I'm rooting for Winnipeg. They are my team definitely going forward in the playoffs.
Oh, you've decided?
Yeah, because I got to cheer for Canada.
Okay.
And I can't cheer for the Oilers or Leafs.
I was going to say, what made you decide not for any of the other teams?
Yeah, well, the Leafs are hapless, so I just know they're about to lose to the Panthers. They're going to get swept.
Yeah.
And then the Oilers, they have a guy, Connor McDavid. He's considered like not the savior, but he's like the next big thing. He is the Arch Manning.
The next big thing? I would say he's already been the big thing for a while.
Yeah, he has been praised as the big thing. He got to the finals last year. Okay, that's cool, but I just... He's not Sidney Crosby.
Yeah.
He's not Wayne Gretzky.
Yeah.
And so miss me with that, you know?
So you're basically saying you're waiting for him to be on that level.
I don't think he is. And so I'm not going to cheer for him to be that.
Until he is that.
He's not going to be it.
Okay.
He will not be it.
But what if he does become that?
He can't. He won't. He's not as good. He's not. This is, he's not. This is like, he's like maybe he's not old enough. He's like the Kevin Durant of people like telling me, oh, he's good as LeBron. No, he's not.
Yeah.
He's not as good as LeBron.
Yeah.
He's not as good as Sidney Crosby. He's not as good as Wayne Gretzky. But this is neither here nor there. Glad the Jets got the win last night. And no matter who won, it was exciting and fun to watch either way. Allie, are you doing okay?
Honestly, I'm super tired, and that's because I had a long weekend. I had a lot going on this weekend. But something weird happened to me. I'm not sure exactly when, but I started noticing this, I think either Friday night or Saturday morning. And that was, I somehow bruised my eyelid.
Oh, no.
Like, it hurts to blink. It's that bad.
Yeah, I've noticed your labored blinking.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It hasn't changed how I blink. It just hurts a little bit more to blink.
Maybe you haven't noticed, but it definitely does. How did you do this? Was this a pickleball injury or what's going on?
No, I did have some pickleball injuries this weekend.
Do you wear protective goggles while you pickleball?
No, I have glasses, so I don't need protective goggles.
You know, not to make this about me, but when I was growing up with my horrible eyes, the doctors wanted me to, the eye doctors wanted me to wear goggles whenever I played any sport.
Really?
Yeah.
You would have been that kid.
Yep.
And
I
you
didn't do it. No. And look at me now.
So it paid off.
I still can't see, but that has nothing to do with playing all the sports I did when I was growing up.
No. But yeah, it wasn't a pickleball thing as far as I could tell. So I think what must have happened is I probably just like was rubbing my eyes.
Oh, you're not supposed to do that.
And did it too hard.
Yeah. You're not supposed to.
It just sounds like
The doctors also told me not to do that.
Yeah, well, it's true. They tell you not to, but people always do.
Mm-hmm.
But doesn't that sound like I'm
lying?
No, doesn't that sound like I'm 90 years old? You rubbed your eye too hard and now your eye's bruised?
Yes,
like,
that
what
definitely
is
does
wrong
sound
with
like
me?
a grandma injury.
Yeah, I do have a privilege, like I have an ability to bruise way too easily. So I feel like I get bruises a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm always looking at a bruise and like, how did I get that? And it's just something super random.
Couldn't there be like is there some supplement you could take for that?
I don't know.
Like
I haven't even looked into it.
Yeah, you should look at. I mean, if you're bruising your eyelid.
This never happened before.
Yeah, but if you bruised other parts of your body and now without knowing why, and now your eyelid, like you don't want that to spread any further.
What? No, I've lived this way my entire life. There's no reason to change. I'm fine.
I like, if I've dealt with this problem this long, I think I can just make it until I'm dead.
Exactly. I'm like, there's no
change
need.
now.
No need to change.
Maybe you should start wearing goggles.
Nope.
When you like sleep and stuff?
No, it's not. I mean, again, it's not a sports thing.
Mm-hmm.
It just, I probably was just rubbing my eye or trying to get something out of my eye and just too much aggression.
Yeah, that's what I think. When I think of you, I'm like, aggression. Maybe you want like an ice pack or something?
No, it doesn't. It's not like I'm dying over here. It's just like every once in a while when I'm blinking, I can feel a little tinge of pain.
Okay, well, lesson learned.
Yeah.
Actually, it doesn't sound like you really
learned anything. I
anything.
don't know exactly how I started it, so no lesson learned here.
Hindsight's 2020. I have a guy here. He's gone viral on social media, particularly TikTok. He's become known simply as the Trap Man. And the reason they call him that is because he has really nice traps on one side of his body.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's a really nice trap.
One single trap, I guess. His whole thing, the Trap Man at the Crooked Mon 10 on TikTok, is that he only has been training one side of his body for one side of his traps anyways, on one half of his body.
Yeah.
So literally the trap is the muscle that's like between your neck and your shoulder, right?
I believe so.
And so that's what it looks like anyways from looking at it. And so his one side is normal, like you'd expect to see on, an average person, like nothing noteworthy about it. And his other side is massive and super muscly.
Yes.
The reason he kind of says he's doing this is to, how we're trained to believe that like muscle symmetry is like key, like that's the best thing you can have.
Yeah, you want symmetry in your body.
And so point proven. He's convinced me. You shouldn't have one massive trap and not the other.
That's what I'm trying to think of as like, I feel like you have not proven to us that you want asymmetry. You've proven to us that, yes, symmetry indeed is the right way to go.
Yeah.
This is not the right way.
And I mean, I don't want to well, no, I can make fun of him.
Sure.
He chose to do this.
He chose to do this and also chose to post himself on social media.
Yeah, so he's asking for it. And I guess I'm not making fun of him. I'm just saying I'd rather have what I have, which is 2 flabby traps that aren't noteworthy in any way, than have one super muscly trap.
Yeah, because it just it's thrown off his entire body chemistry. He looks very strange. He looks like he's like Igor from
he's like the Hunchback of Notre Dame. Notre Dame, whatever. And, it's one thing that he looks like this and he's posted on socials, but he has to go out in life like this.
Yeah.
How are you? He's 19 years old.
I know.
What do you say? What are you telling girls on dating apps or whatever when you have these pictures?
I would never date somebody that looks like this. I mean, he looks like, it just looks wrong.
It's a sideshow.
It looks malformed.
Yeah. Which I don't know. I guess he's proving. He thinks he's proving some kind of point.
He's apparently, because the whole thing is he's posting this on TikTok, and there's been this big trend on TikTok over the past year. #looksmaxing.
Yeah.
Where you try to maximize your looks by enhancing your own features or working out or whatever. Well, he's doing the hashtag, which I have never heard of this before. I think he came up with it himself, called looks minimizing.
Yeah.
So he literally, his whole idea, his whole shtick is to make himself look worse. Congratulations. You have done that.
Yeah.
You succeeded.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what you're trying to. I honestly don't know what you're trying to prove.
I mean,
I guess because you work out doesn't mean you'll look good if you do it the wrong. If
you work out the wrong way, yeah, you can really mess up your body apparently. But this is also the extreme of working out the wrong way.
Yeah,
I don't think most people, even if they are working out in not the most efficient way, are going to do way too many reps on one side or all reps on one side
this
and none on the other.
This isn't a mistake anybody's making.
Yeah, this is just purposefully, trying to look bad, trying to look asymmetrical.
Yeah, well, mission accomplished. I could, if he wants to figure out ways to make yourself look worse, looks minimizing, I can think of a lot of ways, and I could probably teach him a lot of ways that are a lot less work, a lot less effort, and even better results.
More fun.
Yeah. Yes, that's true, too. Tastes really good. Our Monday tradition, the box office breakdown, looking at what made money and what didn't in theaters over the weekend. Let us know what you've seen lately at 8772 Radio U. Did you go see Thunderbolts, the newest addition to the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Because it looks like a lot of people did. Not mind-blowing a lot, but still a lot, enough to make it successful. It made $76 million in North America this weekend, which, according to projections, or it was just over what they projected, so that's good. Beat expectations.
Yeah.
Worldwide, it made a total of $162 million. So so Marvel feeling pretty good about that.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like this is the best of at least the Marvel Phase 5 films, maybe even one of the best of the Phase 4 films openings that we've seen.
Now,
so pretty good.
Some context, though, even though that they're very happy with this, it's still just barely more than Shang-Chi made in its opening weekend. Just a little bit more than The Eternals made in that opening weekend.
But you have to remember those movies were hot on the heels of Infinity War and Endgame when Marvel was at its peak. That
hadn't worn off.
Yeah.
And Shang-Chi was good. The Eternals, from what I hear, not as much. I still haven't seen it. Also, Black Widow actually made more in its first weekend than this one did.
Well, and I will say Black Widow, I feel like I kind of got catfished by that movie. When I went and saw it, I was disappointed. But I do think that hype was still there for those movies, even though it was clear that Marvel had really not hadn't well planned, or the movies weren't as well thought out as what the first phases were.
Yeah.
In those what were later phases right now, but yeah, I'm not surprised to see that those movies did make more.
Yeah, and they're all in the same range, but Thunderbolts also has much better reviews, and the popcorn meter is very high on Rotten Tomatoes, aka they should continue to make money more than those other movies did.
Exactly. They'll make more over time because the word of mouth has been very good for this movie.
Speaking of very good word of mouth, Sinners still coming in at number 2 in the box office, still making $33 million more in North America this weekend. That's really good in its third week. And it is, I'll say that experts predict it could get up to $400 million globally, which would be
really
crazy.
Good.
And then number 3 at the box office was still a Minecraft movie, making another $13 million. Allie, what have you seen lately?
I watched a new movie over the weekend. Not new as in like release new, but new to me. I had a movie night with my cousins, and we watched a movie that they had seen, and they were like, how have you not seen this? Called Congo. Have you ever seen the movie called Congo?
It doesn't sound familiar.
Okay.
What happens in it?
Basically, it's this idea of, it's kind of Jurassic Park, Indiana Jones adventure-esque, but there's these like scientist, researcher, communications people that are trying to get this really pure diamond in the Congo that will help them create like this laser technology. And they're in the middle of the jungle trying to get this laser technology, and what stops them is killer gorillas.
Whoa, that sounds amazing. Was this on the Sci-Fi Channel or something?
No.
Was this like a real movie was in theaters?
It was a real movie, and apparently also a book. It's based off of a book, I guess, because somebody on yesterday was telling me it was based off a book, and I was like, why? That's crazy. But they said the book was a lot better than the movie, but I doubt I'll ever actually get to the book.
I don't know. You got to read 100 this year.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe I need to add it to the list. But it has Tim Curry in it. I love him.
I know you love Tim Curry.
Yes, he plays a villain type of character. It was a really fun movie, and I will say I think it was extra funny because of the whole, one gorilla versus 100 men type of thing. If this was
good timing with that.
Yeah, if this was the gorilla that they had to face, like these gorillas were ferocious and like mutant gorillas, then there would be no shot.
Okay, so that settles that.
If it's that type of gorilla.
I've been watching the Netflix late night John Mulaney. It's called Everybody's Live.
Okay.
I am one episode behind. I haven't been watching it live because it's too late for me in my bedtime. But the last episode I watched, Conan O'Brien and Tina Fey and Ayo Edebiri were in it from The Bear. And they were I loved it. They were talking about how do we know dinosaurs are put together, which is something I've been put together correctly, which is something I've been saying for so long.
Yeah. And
I was glad to finally have a bunch of my heroes up there saying the same things that I've been saying for a long time. And it's been documented on the show that it's not that I don't believe dinosaurs didn't exist. I just don't know how we know that we're putting the skeletons together right.
Yeah.
And they did a whole episode about it.
How can we be positive that this is what they looked like?
Yeah.
A few years ago, Apple TV did a whole documentary that was like, it was kind of like Blue Planet, but it was all CGI stuff that they made for like dinosaurs and stuff. And I'm like, how can you be positive that this is how they behaved?
Yeah.
And this is how they looked? You can't.
It sounded.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't know.
You don't know.
We don't know. So I'm glad. Yeah, and I'm glad you agree. And then I also watched The Accountant too. This is going back a few days.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, a little too much going on.
Okay.
Not that like I didn't understand it all, but it's just like I feel like there's one too many storylines kind of going before they connect. And also John Bernthal. I want him. He's been typecast. I want him to play like a sad sack loser. He's always so cool.
He really
is. Can he stop being cool? Heartbreak in Cleveland last night. 8772 Radio U. The second round of the NBA playoffs kicked off. Allie, the Pacers beat the Cavs.
They did.
In game 1 of the series.
They did indeed.
What's going on?
The Pacers were shooting hot, I gotta say. Halliburton had a good night. Siakam had a good night. And the Cavs have some injuries going on. They lost Darius Garland. He didn't play the last couple of games against Miami, but Miami really didn't have much of a shot either way. And so it didn't make that big of an impact. But I think for the first time with spacing, you saw the impact against Indiana. And I was talking to somebody else about this series, and he mentioned, and I feel like I agree, the Pacers were kind of the one team that I was a little bit worried about other than the Celtics. And that's because when they get shooting, they can become a really hot team. And I would say with their performance against the Bucks, they are really hot right now. So I'm not entirely shocked with how it went. I felt like the Cavs looked a little just slow out the gate. From the beginning, the Indiana just had that momentum and they never relinquished it. And so it just felt like the Cavs were always playing from behind. They didn't really have a lead at any point. They did get to the point where they finally got the game close because they were losing by like 10, 12 points. And they finally got it close. They were winning by 1 or 2 points. And then, Indiana went off again with more hot shooting, and it was over like that. And so it was an interesting game, but I feel like the Cavs, again, they just looked a little lackluster coming out of the gate, but hopefully they will be better in game 2.
Yeah, going into the series, too, I was looking back and I was surprised to see that the Pacers had a lot of success against the Cavs during the regular season.
They did.
A couple of those games were right at the tail end of the season when the Cavaliers had absolutely nothing to play for. But a couple of them weren't, and the Pacers did all right, had beaten, I think they only lost once to the Cavs all season.
Yep.
And they played several times. So maybe the Pacers just are a matchup that the Cavaliers can't deal with. And the Pacers do have marginally more playoff experience, I would say. So maybe y'all are in trouble.
I don't think they have more playoff experience. What do you mean by that?
They went to the conference finals last year, right?
Did they?
I believe they. I think they weren't. They playing where was that? The Knicks.
I didn't think that they made it to the finals last year.
I mean, they've had some good runs together. Siakam's a champion, right?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, Siakam certainly does, but I don't know the Pacers overall if they have more experience.
I think, the Cavs have a lot of experience losing in the first round. So, now, we should also mention that the Warriors knocked out the Rockets last night, and so now they get to advance. And I forget who they play next.
Are they playing the Thunder?
Nope, that's the Nuggets. So They are playing the Timberwolves. Yeah, so I think that's going to be a quick series.
You think Timberwolves win?
I think the Timberwolves, should.
I agree. I think the Warriors are going to be so dead tired. They're an old team.
Yeah, they're banged up. Lots of it. You want to talk about the Cavs injuries. The Warriors have a lot of injuries going on. Now, it hasn't slowed down Steph Curry. They were showing how his thumb was injured. It hasn't slowed him down as much as I might have thought. But nevertheless,
this series took too much effort for them to have success in the second round.
Yeah, they shouldn't have had that much struggle with the Rockets.
Well, no, the Rockets were a higher seed. I think it was apt that this series went this far, that it went to 7 games. But that doesn't change the fact that it took a lot of effort. And so you're just going to go into that series now with the Timberwolves being so exhausted.
Yeah, with the Warriors being exhausted.
That's what I mean. The Warriors are going to be so exhausted going into that series with the Timberwolves. And it just took them too long to beat the Rockets. But I don't think that that's a shock. The Rockets were a higher seed. They had a better season overall. The Warriors were up and down all year long. But talk about playoff experience, they certainly have it, and that helped them out with this series. I mean, I think Steve Kerr was really one of the main reasons you can point to winning a series like this. He just has an advantage in coaching a long series.
He knows what to do, but I don't think they have all the experience. Can't overcome having to chase around the young, fun Wolves that have playoff experience themselves now. They've been through it. They know what they need to do. And in this series, they might have the best player on the court. And they might have the best player on the court in almost any series at this point with Anthony Edwards. Over the weekend, we got the unfortunate news for many that Grand Theft Auto 6 delayed again. We may never see this game. The latest delay from Rockstar Games themselves, they now say that Grand Theft Auto 6 will be released on May 26th of 2026. That's what they say now.
Right.
We'll see about that. Initially, they had slated this for a fall 2025 release.
Mm-hmm.
And think about this, Allie. That was when the trailer was first released, the first trailer, in fall of or I don't know what time of year, but in 2023, it doesn't matter what time of year.
It's a long time ago.
2 years ago, they started teasing this thing.
Yeah.
And it's going to be at least 3 years from that point to when this game actually comes out. You have to wait at least a year from now before Grand Theft Auto 6 will get here.
I don't think they'll do this, but now I'm wondering, are they going to go back into that video? Because at least I know on YouTube you can do this. You can go in and edit a video after it's been posted. Are they going to go in and edit it and be like, change the end slate?
I mean, it's been that way for so long, you know. But you might be wondering why, because Rockstar Games in their statement, they didn't really give an explanation.
No.
They just said, we're sorry that this is later than you expected. The interest and excitement surrounding a new Grand Theft Auto has been truly humbling for our entire team. We want to thank you for your support and patience as we work to finish the game. But no reason why they haven't finished it or won't finish it in time for what they initially said.
No.
I do have one gaming expert here, Jason Schreier of Bloomberg, who says that basically he thinks that they didn't want to have a time crunch where they're scrambling to get things done and having to maybe cut corners or whatever, or just work their team too hard to get it ready for the deadline that the amorphous deadline that they had already set.
Yeah.
Which is something that it sounds like they ran into with Red Dead Redemption 2.
Mm-hmm.
And so they didn't want to recreate that same problem for themselves. And so instead they're buying time. But I don't know about you, Allie, but I feel like that's a bunch of nonsense.
A bunch of baloney.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta say, I mean, I understand that they don't want to crunch on this game. They want to make sure it's good and ready to go and not have a bunch of bugs on release and all of that stuff that you see when games do deal with a crunch and they're released too early. The one I classically remember about this, Cyberpunk. Huge anticipation for that game. When it came out, so many issues. People were like, why did this game get released now? We can't even play it. It's non-playable. And so, yeah, I feel like, I'm not upset that they want to take the time to make sure it's right before they release it. But it is really frustrating because it's just like you just keep moving this time back.
Yeah.
And I think, even Jason Schreier points this out. No one at Rockstar even believed that fall 2025 was actually a feasible date to release this game. And I'm like, if that's true, then why did they even put that timeline out there?
This is what I'm saying. It's nonsense because you made the time crunch for yourselves.
Yes.
Nobody made you in 2023 when you put out the trailer say fall 2025. Nobody's made you say anything.
No.
You make the date. You're in charge.
Yeah.
But once you start saying times, that's when people start to get excited, and now you look silly.
Yeah.
Because you can't stick on a schedule when so many other what kind of way to do business is this? So many other movies, album, it's occasionally that artists and bands and movie studios sometimes they have to delay stuff, but it's much more rare. And especially the more excitement and the more attention is on something, the more you think that you want to really have everything, all ironed out before you start making promises you can't deliver on.
Yeah. I know the anticipation isn't going anywhere. People are still going to be excited, even if it's another year and almost month away from being released. But you're certainly not buying any fan support or love or grace by continuing to look like you're dumb and foolish for moving all of this stuff around.
And listen, I'm not saying I want the workers overworked, because I think that's a big thing in gaming.
Yeah.
Is the people behind the scenes having to
go
pull
overtime,
ridiculous hours.
Yeah.
And, so we don't want that. But let's also be realistic. It's in it's 2025. You put out the game. And put out updates, fix it afterwards.
No, that's the Cyberpunk problem. It really wasn't that great. Fans were way more upset that they got a broken game from the beginning. Because, why would you pay for a broken game?
So many games do that. Just do it. It's 2025.
No,
this is what we expect.
I don't support that.
We have an update on the Delco Pooper. A story we covered on Friday here on RadioU Mornings. The initial story was there was literally a video of an incident in the Philadelphia area in Pennsylvania where a woman got out of her car in a fit of road rage and literally pooped on the hood of another car.
Yeah.
And there's video and everything. It is disgusting.
Absolutely disgusting.
Now, over the weekend, the woman has been identified. Her name is Christina Solometto. She's 44 years old, and she has an explanation.
Oh, no.
I told you this, Allie, when we talked about this. I said, she was going home to her husband or like going to talk to her friends or whatever, and she's going to tell the story of this road rage thing, and she was going to be like, you won't believe what this other person did to me out on the road.
What happened to me?
Yeah, what happened to me?
She was going to be the victim.
Exactly, and sure enough, this is exactly what she's now explaining. She has spoken up for herself. She says that she was at I don't know if it was, I guess it was a light or a stop sign waiting to turn left. And
I think it's a light because she mentions an arrow.
Okay, so the person in front of her wasn't paying attention. Maybe they were looking at their phone, whatever, who knows, but they weren't going as soon as this woman, Christina Solamento, wanted them to go.
Yeah.
And so she honked her horn at them.
Yes.
She says that person then made fun of her in the rearview mirror somehow.
Somehow, some way.
Yeah.
We don't know exactly what they would have done.
I can think of one thing. A certain finger might be involved, but either way.
Don't know how that's making fun.
Yeah, but that's how she described it. She eventually says that she went around this person that was not turning left for some reason, which that sounds dangerous.
Sounds dangerous. Also, why were they not turning left if it was a green arrow?
Mm-hmm. So she claims then that this person followed her, and so she got out of her car because she didn't want to be, chased or whatever. Again, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
Somebody's following you. You get out of your car. That makes no sense. And then she said, quote, I wanted to punch her in the face, but I pooped on her car instead and went home. She also, I'm going to say it, Allie. This is a quote. It was a clean poop. I didn't even have to wipe.
Oh,
no. It didn't look that way.
No.
From the video, I'll have to say.
It did not. Christina, oh my goodness. I think there's some stuff going on here. I'm very, very confused by this whole situation. But yeah, basically the stuff that she's claiming to me just does not add up for, why she needs to do what she did.
And yeah, there's nothing. We said this at the time.
There's nothing you could do to make this make sense.
You can. What could the person in the other car have threatened you with or done to you that would ever justify dropping a deuce on their hood? There is nothing. There's nothing they could do. And so this is not. It's going to be worked out in court or whatever. She's got a lawyer, blah blah blah. But some of these charges are going to stick.
Yes, I agree, and I think, even as we pointed out, the reaction made no sense from her. Mm-hmm. The story overall just makes no sense. You know what I mean? As far as like even what she thinks justifies what she did.
Yeah, what she claims happened in the traffic incident.
Yeah, that doesn't add up at any point. And so yeah, I just feel like overall seems like a very delusional person, and I hope that the charges do stick because I don't want this woman on the streets anymore to be out pooping on other people's cars.
Can you go to jail for this?
No, I just mean like maybe she needs some citations as far as like not being able to.
An anger management class, Road Ragers Anonymous or whatever, if that's a thing.
If that's a thing, yeah.
Defensive driving, that's what they call it.
Oh, do they? Okay.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, you got to take that because you can't be doing this.
No, she needs that.
On the menu today, at long last, we have finally gathered the new peanut butter and jelly Reese's. Austin is here with us, our Food Fight Friday winner from the RadioU fundraiser. Austin, you said that Reese's is your favorite candy of all time. So you have high hopes for these?
I have high hopes, but I mean, peanut butter and jelly and everything, I'm on the edge on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Curious as to how these will taste.
I mean, Reese's wouldn't let us down, though, right?
You would think, but we've got two different flavors to try today. So we've got grape and strawberry. So I'm assuming that's like the jam or whatever that's in there. the jelly.
Yeah, they really like. I think they could have just gone with one or the other, and I think everybody would have been happy. But they are like, no, let's do both.
We're gonna try both.
Let's try both. So, which one would you like to start with, Austin? The strawberry Reese's peanut butter and jelly, or the grape?
We can go ahead and start strawberry.
All right, strawberry.
Strawberry, it is.
It is.
All right, somebody go first. Not me.
All right. Austin's got it in the mouth.
He's going in.
In the mouth. I'm unwrapping
interested.
here.
The jelly's around the edge.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Lots of
Okay.
You took a big bite. Why'd you take that big of a bite?
It's a small cup. Isn't it small?
Okay,
like,
yeah, it is really
it's
small.
Literally not the big cup, but I feel like this shrunk. I feel like the Reese's have shrunk.
Yeah.
The regular Reese's, either that or I'm getting bigger, of course. But I think they made them smaller.
Yeah.
But onto the taste, like, it's do you taste a
don't
lot
know.
of jelly in there, Stuart? Or Austin? I feel like I don't taste a lot of
I don't
jelly
taste
at
a
all.
lot of jelly, but I am being like overwhelmed by strawberry.
The strawberry smell is a lot too on this. Like as soon as I pulled it out of the wrapper, I was like, "Ooh, strawberries! I can smell them."
It's weird. It does not feel like they took a strawberry and peanut butter sandwich and put it into a Reese's cup. It doesn't
No.
feel like that.
It definitely tastes like artificial strawberry.
Yes, that's it's fake, right? It's too fake, isn't it?
Yep. It's not amazing.
All right. I guess we should give the grape a shot. Now, if
Well, I
I'm,
mean, this is the OG like peanut butter and jelly sandwich,
Yeah.
right? Like with
Yeah.
grape jelly. So we had to save it for
and if,
last.
I don't know about you guys, but if I was making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, it would definitely be grape and not strawberry.
No, I don't even know if I've ever had a strawberry one.
All right.
So,
I think I need to turn you guys on to blackberry.
oh, you know, I think I
Blackberry.
have tried
Yeah.
blackberry, and I do like that. My mom loves blackberry, so you are trying it. Austin's trying it. I'm gonna wait and just
Allie.
fill the time with something.
Austin, I don't know if you're going to like this. This one's even faker than the strawberry.
No, I'm sad. Why'd you have to tell me that before I took a bite? Oh.
But it's not like a bad fake grape.
I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to Reese's. I'm sorry to you, Austin. I'm sorry, Allie. I'm sorry to everybody. I don't think I like this.
This is like this. It kind of tastes like Welch's. You know what I mean? Like they made Welch's grape juice a solid and they put it
Yes,
in
it
here.
tastes more like juice than jelly.
I
I'm
would
with you on that.
100% agree with that. But I don't think
but
it's
not in a
as
good way.
overwhelming as the strawberry. The strawberry was a lot. I think the grape is a little more subtle. What do you think, Austin?
Yeah, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm liking the grape a lot better. I mean, it's not like slapping you in the face
Yeah.
Yeah.
like the strawberry did.
Yeah, the strawberry was a lot.
So the real question we have to ask here is, now that we've tried these, if you are out at the store and you see these and you kind of have, a sweet tooth for the day, are you actually going to pick either of these peanut butter and jelly Reese's over a regular Reese's or one of their other flavors?
No, I'd just go straight for the pretzel one and call
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
100%. I'm either going that or I'm just going the OG.
Yeah, this is, I honestly am not a fan of these, but it is a credit to Reese's too that there's so many other flavors that I would choose, and this doesn't take away from any of those.
No, this is not a
No.
bad look for their brand at all. It's just they tried something new.
Yeah. Something that people have probably been asking for a long time.
Yeah.
And maybe there was a good reason that Reese's didn't.
Yeah, they were like,
Didn't give
believe
it to
us,
us.
it's not that great. We don't want to release it.
Well, thanks, Austin, for again giving to Radio U, and it was fun to do this with you. I hope you like the Reese's enough to finish all that we sent you. And
Yeah, we sent you a lot.
Yeah, I wish we could have had something.
Yeah.
Honestly, to me, I wish we could have had something better, but I hope it's good enough for you to
Hey,
enjoy.
I mean, could have been worse.
Yeah. Good way to look at it.
It's Radio U. How many times a day do you brush your teeth?
Twice.
Twice a day.
Yep.
But when you wake up and go to bed?
When I wake up and before I go to bed. Yep.
Perfect. That's not enough.
Oh, it's not enough?
No, I think dentists say that you're supposed to do it like after every meal, right?
Oh, yeah, probably.
And probably like also when you wake up and go to sleep. I feel like you can't brush your teeth too much.
That's fair. And there are times when I do feel like, when you feel like you have like a coat on your teeth?
Oh, yeah.
Like after ice cream or something. I always have to brush my teeth after ice cream.
Yeah. Some people think your teeth get like furry if you don't brush them for days. My teeth can get furry after like one meal.
Yeah, it depends on what I eat. Yeah. And so I will say like that can get upped on different days depending on how my teeth feel. Because if my teeth feel gross, I'm like, I can't stand it. I gotta get it.
It's a bad
whatever
feeling.
is on my teeth, I gotta get it off.
Yeah. I think I'm not, no judgment. Twice a day, that's what I do too. I think that's pretty normal.
Pretty
we're
standard.
all trying. Like you can only brush your teeth so many times. Do you floss?
I try to. I have permanent retainers, which make it really hard. Like even the dentist technicians or whatever, they have trouble flossing whenever I get my teeth cleaned because of my permanent retainers. So I usually just get my back teeth, my molars.
Yeah.
Because all of my front teeth for both the upper and lower have the permanent retainers on.
Yeah. I'm going to be honest. I can't really get into the flossing thing.
Really?
Yeah, I don't really do a lot of flossing. And I'm sure there's going to be people hopping in the text in the group chat at 8772-RadioU because there's always a debate of if flossing actually is even good for you or not. Like there are literal debates about this in the world.
I haven't heard that debate. I feel like every time I go to the dentist, my dentist asks me,
I know,
are you doing
they
your
ask
flossing?
you. But there's, I think there's dentist detractors. There's some dentists out there that, 3 out of 4 dentists agree, but not on that.
Yeah, not a 100% agreement.
Yeah, and can you even trust them, or are they just trying to sell floss? Like help the floss industry?
Maybe.
But okay, here's my point is actually to go back to this. If you asked any random person, right, should you brush your teeth? Most people would go, yeah, of course you should brush your teeth. And we all probably know maybe we don't brush or floss or whatever, like quite enough, even though like you ask somebody, it's like, yeah, that's an important thing to do.
Yeah.
I think God is very similar.
Okay.
Where like if you ask an average person, does God exist? Is God there? They'd be like, yeah, I think so. But if you're not actually like, if you don't, you can say, oh, brushing your teeth is good. If you don't actually do it, it doesn't make a difference, right? Like what difference is it making to think that it does something?
Yeah.
If you don't actually take the step of brushing your teeth.
Exactly. You got to follow through with it.
Yeah. If you ask a person, hey, does God exist? And they're like, well, I mean, probably. That doesn't do you a lot of good if you aren't actually taking the time to communicate with God,
right,
to have a relationship with him and find out. Like if he's God and he's there, then why wouldn't you want that?
Exactly. There's a difference between awareness of it, awareness that I need to brush my teeth, and actually following through and doing it and benefiting from following through, because there's benefits for it, right? So yeah, there's a difference between that awareness of God and then acting on the fact that he offers you the ability to have a relationship with him. That's a crazy thing, by the way. You can have a relationship with your creator. That's insane.
It's actually amazing. And so this is what I'm saying. Don't just let your teeth rot away by thinking about how brushing your teeth is good, but never actually taking a step to do that. That'd be ridiculous. Why would you do that?
Right.
Same thing with God. Don't let the goodness that can come from a relationship with God pass you by just because you're like, yeah, God is there, but I don't really do anything about it. Like, do something about it.
Do something,
and watch what God will do for you. If you want to know more, RadioU.com/free gift. I found this note when I was out on one of my walks recently, 8772-RadioU. And we've been like analyzing this note ever since I took the picture. I was out on a walk at lunch here on Friday on Radio U, actually. And I walked through this neighborhood. It's a dead-end neighborhood, okay?
Okay.
So that's a limited amount of people that would be walking there and walking their dog there, which is what this note is about. Somebody found somebody else's dog's poop.
Oh, no.
And bagged it, but didn't throw it away. Instead, they left it at a little pavilion and left a note with it that says, dude, you are a disgusting and irresponsible pet owner. Do better. And left that with the bagged up dog poop. And I just have so many thoughts about this.
Yeah, this is crazy.
Because one, first of all, leaving a handwritten note. Why did you have a pen and paper with you?
Right.
ready to leave that.
Did you go home and get it and write it and then bring it back?
Yeah.
Because
Also,
that's kind of psycho behavior.
yeah, that is. Also, you're going to leave this note and like, I feel like maybe you should, like, there's no backbone to it. Like, you're telling him do better.
Yeah.
But like,
You're not saying it to his face.
Yeah, you're not saying it to his face. I guess you don't know who it is, but also
Sure.
you're not signing your name. You're not putting your name on this.
Call me if you want to talk.
Yeah.
I mean, that'd be a little weird.
But I think saying do better to anybody ever, there is no guaranteed way that is more effective at getting somebody to not do what you want them to do.
Yeah, 100% that's going to make somebody want to do the opposite of whatever you're telling them because you're obviously, looking down on them, which I think most people would say not a great move to leave dog poop
Nobody's
out.
defending the dog poop leaver.
No, like that's not a good thing to do.
As a dog owner, I can explain sometimes, occasionally, now if you're seeing this happen over and over again, this is not what's happening. But occasionally, at least for my dog, she saves up so she can go to the bathroom as many times as she can when we actually go on a walk.
Yeah.
And I bring a bajillion bags, and sometimes it's just not enough.
You still run out.
Sometimes she's like, so you have 6 bags. Well, I'm going to go 7 times.
Oh, my goodness.
Seriously. So,
Vera, what are you doing?
yeah, seriously. But by and large, like, there's no reason for
Leaving it.
Yeah, for this to be left out. So nobody's defending them, but telling them to do better if they ever saw that note is not going. They're going to start leaving more dog poop there, I feel like.
Well, and what I told you after you came back Friday afternoon after your walk and saw this and showed me and Nene this picture and we were laughing about it, I was like, it's about to rain.
Yeah.
That handwritten note is going to be mush.
I was the only person who probably saw that note before it got washed away.
Yes, exactly. So I was like, this is so useless, not only for the do better part, because that's not going to make any difference at all in any person. That's going to make them want to just continually leave poop there. But it's also not going to be seen by the person that you want it to be seen by.
Even though it's a small neighborhood, like, again, dead end, only a few people will be walking their dog there. The odds of the person seeing it that left that behind and stopping to read the note,
Right.
Like, what do you think the odds are?
Slim to none. And it's mainly because of the rain. Like, if it had been a beautiful next few days and it was left there, maybe they would have seen it. The chances would have gone up a little bit more. But because it rained literally right after you got back, I'm like, there's no way. That note had no chance.
Yeah. And so then all that's left is a washed up piece of paper, some rocks, and a bag of dog poop with no explanation.
Yep.
And then now all of a sudden you're the bad person.
You're the bad one.
It was a distinctive dog poop bag. People are going to know who the person is with that bag.
Yeah.
And so they're going to think you just left your dog poop there.
Yep. Do they go back and pick it up if it's left over? Maybe?
Sounds like, I don't know.
Thanks for listening to the RadioU Podcast. Don't forget to rate and review the show.